Hi. Today is Wednesday and it is May 4th. And I've already noticed on Facebook this morning that several people have deemed today to be Star Wars Day because there's a line in the original Star Wars that says, "May the Force be with you." And they think, well, May the 4th sounds like May the Force. So whatever it is today, I'm not really a Star Wars fan, and so it doesn't have much to do with me. But nevertheless, tomorrow I think the Force will be with you. That is, it can be with you, because tomorrow is a National Day of Prayer. And that is nothing new, and that is nothing that came from a movie, but rather it was something that was established on April 17th of 1952 by President Harry Truman. He signed a law he signed a bill into law proclaiming the National Day of Prayer. And President Reagan amended the law in 1988, designing the first Thursday of May of each year as a National Day of Prayer. The National Day of Prayer Committee was then established in 1972. And so every year, the committee puts together an event of prayer that goes across the nation. Now, Jesus regularly set aside a day of prayer, a time of prayer, where it says that he went off by himself. In Luke chapter 5, verse 16, it says, "But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places to pray." And tomorrow being the National Day of Prayer, I'm hoping that you will perhaps take time tomorrow, all day, maybe part of the day, maybe even an hour, and just spend a time in prayer on that day. Paul tells us to pray without ceasing, but I also think there is a time within the prayer, having an attitude of prayer all the time, but there's also a time where we should set aside time specifically to pray for certain things. A lot of times we'll see a prayer vigil take place when a child or an adult has died, was killed or whatever, and they'll put together a prayer vigil to pray for that family and pray for the people involved in that situation. So it's nothing new to us. We've seen this all the time, but I want to encourage you on Thursday, May the 5th, tomorrow, to set aside a time of prayer. There's several things that you could be praying for. First of all, what's been on all of our minds is Ukraine and the terrible war that's happening over there where thousands of people are dying because of the Russian aggression. And we need to be praying for peace. We need to be praying that God will intervene in some way to bring peace into that situation. We should be praying for the church. I believe right now that the church is struggling, not just this congregation. Every congregation everywhere is struggling because of the culture that we live in and many other factors. And I think Satan is having a heyday. And I believe that Christians need to be praying down this atrocities that are happening within the church here and around the world. We need to be praying for God to intervene and God to redeem his church and bring his church back to a place of stability and strength once again. I think we need to be praying for ourselves. I need to be praying for me and the issues in my own life. My lack of faith at times and the struggles that we all have. I know we do. We don't deny it. We all have these struggles, whether we want to admit it or not. And we need to be discerning where God might be leading us as an individual, how God can use us in the future and day by day to do his will. And we need to be praying for our youth, the youth of our country, the youth of our churches, that they will stand strong, that they will experience new life and energy and invigoration, and most of all, that they will have a strong faith in Jesus Christ as they live their lives. We need to be praying, I think, most of all, for revival. Our country needs revival. And I'm not talking about the kind of political revivals that we hear about, that one segment of the political spectrum is saying that we need to turn our hearts back to God, and you need to become either a Republican or a Democrat, or you need to be like us or whatever. I'm talking about revival that spans the entire spectrum. the entire country, the entire globe, where God's Spirit is moving among people. And that's what we need to be praying for, is that God's way, not our way, God's way will be established in the hearts of people. May God give you a great day, and I encourage you tomorrow to make that a national day of prayer and a personal day of prayer. Amen.